Hi, I'm John Crawford and I'm blind. I'm going to talk about the biggest lesson I have learned over my lifetime as a legally blind person. So, I was born in 1970 in Hilo, Hawaii, and I was born legally blind. My uncle Howard Crawford, he was an ophthalmologist, and he was able to spot right away when he came into the room to visit me and my mom that I had eye problems. And he told my mom, this boy is not going to be able to see very well. And he turned out to be right. And it has shaped my life from that day forward, obviously. So I grew up not being able to see, wearing very, very thick glasses in order to see anything at all. And I went through some special programs to help me to cope with some of that stuff, some kind of therapeutic kind of schooling, in my preschool years and stuff like that. And then I went on to school where I really, really struggled for a long time until many years later when I was in the 8th grade and I went to the Tennessee School for the Blind. Prior to that, I really, really struggled through school to make decent grades and to keep up with the rest of the kids in the class because my public school experience was a very negative thing for the most part. It was riddled with no accommodations and people misunderstanding and misdiagnosing things and telling my parents I had this behavioral problem or that developmental problem, when the truth was that the reason that I was having so much trouble in school was simply because I couldn't see. I didn't act like the other kids. I didn't do things like the other kids. And it set me apart in a lot of ways. So I guess what I can say over my life is that the biggest lesson that I have learned as a legally blind person for 54 years of my life is to remain positive. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I love being blind. I hate being blind in a lot of ways. It's not something that any of us really considers fun. I don't know a single blind person that ever says, I'm glad I can't see. I don't know a single sighted person that says, I wish I couldn't see. That's just not a thing. But over my life, I've had some good things happen in my life. I met my wife at the School for the Blind. I've made many wonderful friends at the School for the Blind who I love very much. And those are really good things. But what I guess I'm getting around to saying is that through my life, I've always done a lot better at dealing with the challenges and difficulties of having visual impairment by remaining positive. When I went through a negative phase in my early 30s, people found it difficult to deal with me or to help me, and it strained my relationships with my family and friends. And I had to learn to get back on the horse again, throw off the negativity, and go back to being positive. Here is what being positive has done for me as a legally blind person throughout my life. Being positive has allowed me to reach out into a community and make friends and acquaintances and get the help that I need to get with everyday tasks, such as getting around town and helping me see things like my mail and whatever tasks require vision that I'm not able to do. Being positive has also enabled me to maintain really strong relationships with my family and friends so that I have people to reach out to when I am frustrated. Being positive has also given me the strength to keep going and to be tenacious enough to reach for the things that I want in life, even if they're difficult, and for the most part, get to do the things that I want to do. Being positive has enabled me to see the good in people in the world, even when sometimes it's difficult to see. As a handicapped person, sometimes we see the ugly side of people. Let's just face it. We see that all the time here on social media. And it's not always easy to see the good-hearted side of people. But with a positive attitude, you bring it out in people. People want to help you. People want to be nice to you. People are more willing to be patient with you. So being positive is a way of smoothing your path over a very difficult road. Being positive has also enabled me to show that I am a strong and capable person in the eyes of a world that tends to look at blind people as people who are not as capable of doing things. So I've been able to really be a better representative of the blind community. And finally, being positive has made me a good member of the blind community so I can pave the way for the blind people that I get to know here on TikTok and the blind people that I don't know all over the world. So as a Christian and as a blind person, positivity has been the biggest lesson that I've ever learned in my life and the biggest asset, which has been able to help me move forward in my faith and in my life as a blind person. Okay, guys, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned throughout your life, whether it is because you're a blind person or whether you're not a blind person? Tell us about the biggest lesson that you've learned in your life. Let's get the discussion going. All right, have a good night, guys. I've had a long day today, and I will hopefully talk to you tomorrow.